Hey guys, my name is Christian Gallardo. I am 17 years old and I live in Pflugerville, Texas. Since 2012 till now, I have created an animated show and it is called Snack Attacks. The show was inspired by 1950s, 60s, and 80s pop culture, mostly media. The idea came from 50s movie intermissions such as Let's All Go to the Lobby with the talking snack food characters who tell us, let's all go to the lobby. And it was like amazing to me. And I'm like, wow, this hasn't been used in a while. I want to remaster, recreate it into something different. So another came from my experiences when I go to the movies, and when I either go with friends or family, I get kind of excited at times before the film start, especially when I'm at the concession stand, and I'm like, what should I get? I want popcorn. I want some Dr Pepper while I watch this movie. I want some Kit Kats. I want some M&Ms to eat with this. And also movies and TV shows, like the very old kinds, like from those kinds of time periods, also gave me my ideas because of the story process and the morals they try to teach. So the show itself is set in a parallel universe, and it's from ours with like living food and the setting is mostly in San Foodcisco. I know it sounds kind of strange, weird, and kind of funny, but it's really based on that sort of city, and it's one of my most favorite cities in the world. And the setting brings the main characters. First off is Oscar Bunn, and he is an orphan hot dog who lives with his best friend Stanley, a soda, and his family. And Oscar's backstory that won't be like mentioned too much or actually be seen is when his parents died when he was 7 years old until his age now of 16, and he's with his friends now. And Oscar is eccentric, animated, scatterbrained, generous, curious, and uncommon and zany. And like he's a huge fan of mustard. It's like that's his like his weakness. And he's a lot different from Stanley. Stanley is very smart, intelligent, hygienic, kind, and fastidious, and he is a fan of chemistry. But he can also be careful and anxious when it comes to Oscar's mayhem, when he causes trouble, and he always has to get after him or tell him not to do these kinds of things. And since Stanley's own parents won't care for Oscar because of his behavior, so he's like a brother to him. Next is their friend Nick, and he is a chocolate bar. And he is a lot different from the other characters because he is socially awkward, he's quiet, sensitive, and lacks confidence. But he can also be reasonable and experienced. He doesn't show much strength and mostly anger because he can melt with too much tense, and he tries not to be so powerful. And next is Kimberly, and she is the female of the gang. She is a box of popcorn who is fashion sensitive and can also be aggressive and vain and defensive when anybody threatens her or makes fun of the way she looks. But and she also seeks a lot of popularity. She wants to be a popular girl, and the boys are just like, no, you're not popular, but she can try. And last is her stepbrother Tim, who is a milkshake, and he is very charming and suave when it comes to meeting girls, because that's all he cares about. But other than that, he's also energetic and childish and laid back when it comes to like hanging out with his friends or trouble they get into. He thinks it's awesome, but when it's too much, he just thinks it's not cool. So that covers the gang, and they're just a bunch of teenagers. The main antagonist of the show, who is Snippa, and he is a pair of scissors. First off, I thought to myself, like, I don't want the villain to be a knife, a fork, or a spoon, so I decided to stick with a pair of scissors because it's like an attempt to be a kitchen utensil. So that's when it hit me. And he is diabolical, hateful, and immature, and he's a real bully to the gang, especially Oscar. And Oscar just doesn't even notice or care that he's a real big bully because he thinks he's a very nice guy, but no, he's not. So he does his best to try to make the world a better place, since his own father is like an architect and tries to make progress to the city that is not food formed and can never get a chance. So Snipper tries to do the work himself and is mostly stopped by Oscar and the gang because from their perspective, it's their city. So the gang themselves are teens who just go around and enjoy their lives in San Francisco, sometimes making the wrong and right decisions, and they get themselves into trouble that is sometimes based on old films. So one thing that the world is that it's ruled by food. And no, if this is what you're thinking, no, they do not eat people, since it's a parallel universe. They just eat inanimate food, and that doesn't bring effect to any other kinds of food, but that won't be mostly the main focus. So to me, the show is kind of like representing real-world activities such as eating food, because like the food characters, when we eat or share a meal with others, that's like with your friends or family, and you enjoy that. Just like how the characters are best friends. And with when going to the movies, like the kinds of food they are, you go to the movies and you go with your companion and everything, and you're just enjoying it with them. So to me, the world they live in and how it's created, this won't really be like focused or mentioned at all. But it's like made from somebody's crazy idea, which is kind of like me, who like created this world and drew it, and then suddenly the magic of it brought it to life. But that won't really be focused or mentioned at all, so it won't bring too much attention on how this world is created. It will just bring attention on the characters. And overall, this show has not been made yet until now. And the pilot story has finally been made. All I gotta do is create it, because I animate only and kind of write the stories. But I'm still looking for much more people to crew with, and I'm looking, and I'm really finding some voice actors and all. I'm not a real background designer. And also the animation will be used traditionally, not flash animated. It'll just be used ordinary. So I believe that one crazy idea that can be improved can turn into something great, such as Snack Attacks. So it took me 4 years to come up with something to make into like these friends who live in a food civilization. And it was a lot different a long time ago. It was kind of childish. So I'm very excited that this will finally be made, and I'm glad Oscar and Stanley will finally come to life, just like I always thought in my head, because they really mean a lot to me, and they're really creative characters. So hopefully lots of people could experience seeing this pilot, because that's all there's going to be. I won't be making a lot of episodes, but this pilot is like kind of an exciting start for the show. So thank you for hearing my idea, and hopefully you could see it happen soon. It will come in 2016. Thank you very much. I'll see you later.
It's a different world. Go out and find a girl. Come on, and dance all night. Despite the heat, it'll be alright. And babe, don't you know it's a pity the days can't be like the nights in the summer in the city. Summer in the city.